hamburger steak. We're going to start over here by using a skillet that's already hot to make our patties in. And I'm also going to start this skillet, turn it up a little bit. We're going to make a few Brussels sprouts. Something green to go with it. And I'm going to put a little butter in the Brussels sprout skillet. And then we're going to make these patties, and we want that skillet to be good and hot when we add them. Add a little butter in there. Okay. I just make my hamburger patties plain. Then I put spices on them, and then I cover them in gravy, and they're good, just like that. You don't have to mix everything up in the patty to make it taste good. And if you don't believe me, then try my recipe, and you'll be like, oh, this is delicious. All right, we'll make one pretty big for you tomorrow.
Yeah, we tried to go to Aldi's yesterday and get meat. Lord, we got there and they didn't have
anything. They literally didn't have anything, y'all.
Yeah.
They said that their trucks hadn't come in. A lot of people like the taste of brown butter. I like to kind of brown them to start with, but I've got to get me something and flip these. Okay. I didn't really want my butter to get that brown. Oh, I always do something crazy when I'm live. Now, these little Brussels were just little babies that they got me. I like to turn them all over facing the side that I cut. And I like for it to get kind of toasty. I am going to put just a little bit of water in that. Now, when you do Brussels, I like to put butter in them, and then I like to put some water in them. And then it steams them. And boy, it makes good Brussels. Good ones. Yeah. You got to brown it for 4 minutes. And you don't want to burn. I don't want to burn the seasoning either, Chris. Mm-hmm. So I think I'll just salt it.
Okay.
And then we'll, and we ain't got to salt it much because we're using salty gravy on this, okay? I've got this in my cookbook. Let me just describe something to them. And this is how I try to come up with a good way of explaining how to get hamburger separated from your iron skillet when you put it in a hot skillet, because there's a trick to it. And over here in my cookbook, I say, when searing beef in a preheated cast iron skillet, the meat will adhere to the surface, and it does. So I tell you, for the initial turn, to use a flat metal spatula and push it up against the bottom of the meat, between the meat and the bottom of the skillet, upside down actually, and you push it like this. And that's how you get it to flip, and you keep the sear on the meat and it doesn't stick to the skillet, okay? So I tried to describe that in my cookbook. Will you turn that?
What the?
Yes. Turn it off. I don't like it. It makes me yell. I can't help but yell when that's on. I'm probably blasting their ears off. So you really gotta see. I missed that little bitty spot right there. But you want that good sear on there. Now, this time they won't do that. But when you first put them in a really hot skillet, they're going to do it every time. And you cannot get that sear off the bottom of your skillet with a silicone type spatula. You got to have something that's solid like this, so you can really work it off that bottom. And that's a tip that if you don't watch somebody cook, Chris, let me talk to him. If you don't watch somebody cook, that's a tip that you're not going to know. It's really good sometimes to watch somebody else cook and them show you little things like that, because it makes a difference. It really does. Oh, I can season this side. Those are doing really good. All right, we're going to season this side, and I'm going to try not to get it down in the skillet much because I don't want it to burn. And then we are going to add some onion, and I don't have any pepper tonight. I didn't get a pepper, but you don't have to have it to make this. It's not mandatory. Especially when you're using onion powder, and onions. It's going to be delish. And this is steak seasoning. I'll just try to keep it on top of the patty for now, because we're still trying to get this a little bit brown. You want to turn it up a little bit so that it gets a little bit brown. But now I'm going to put the lid on this so that it helps get it done on the inside. Okay?
Did you want to put any pepper on it?
Black pepper?
Yeah, we didn't.
Yeah, I guess I
Unless you think
can.
that steak seasoning, I bet it's got pepper in it.
Well, it does, but let me put a little extra. Chris is watching me.
I know how you are with pepper.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Matter of fact, let's put some over here while we're at it.
Okay.
Pepper is my friend. Now, you can get too much and it makes stuff hot. Especially like in your vegetable soup and stuff. I don't like to use too much pepper, because if you do, sometimes it can get a little hot. All right, I think those are going to be good and done. Real easy, good and done. So I'm just going to keep them down low like that. And then you're going to see at the end, we'll turn them up just a hair so that butter browns them just a hair. You don't want them brown. And they're going to be so delicious with this. Tonight, we are going to use some onion. So let's go ahead and chop up our onion. And we're going to use some mushroom. And I don't know that I'm going to use all this mushroom, but I know I want to use all this onion. Now, these are baby bellas, and you can use any mushroom that you desire. If you want to use the white mushrooms, you can use that. But they got to where they'll have baby bellas for the same price as the other mushrooms. And shoot, you ought to get them if you can. It's a better mushroom. Better tasting to me. Now, if you don't like mushrooms, and some of y'all don't, and you let it be known that you don't, then of course don't put them in there, okay? These are plenty brown. I had turned that up. Let's see how they're looking. Oh, they're perfect. Now, I don't want this to get too brown because we are going to make the gravy. So I'm just going to put a lid on it and let it cook a minute down lower. And then I'm going to show y'all how to make the gravy.
You want to cut?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cut these off until we get ready to eat them, and then I'll just warm them back up. Now, for the gravy, you're going to use, come on over here, Chris, to the left of me.
Okay.
You're going to use, it's simple. I'm using a mixed gravy. And yet some of y'all are going to be like, a mixed gravy? Well, I like it. And this is my easy mushroom gravy. If you want to make a mushroom gravy that is with beef broth, that's with real beef broth, I do have a recipe in here with my Salisbury steak that has a mushroom gravy that's more of a homemade type. But look, this is good. It's great for supper when you're, just making dinner quick and it's not a special occasion. You're supposed to use a half cup of this gravy mix per 2 cups of milk. I just need a little bit more. Okay. And that's all there is to it. Now, I like to use McCormick brown gravy mix. That's my favorite. And I use it in bigger bulk. So I buy it that way. It's a lot cheaper to buy it in a large container. And if you got one of my cookbooks and you plan on cooking some of my recipes, let me just tell you to get you some steak seasoning, some onion powder, and some gravy mix, and some chicken bouillon and beef bouillon, because you're going to need them cooking with me, cooking with my stuff. All right. Now, for these, we're going to add the onions and mushrooms, and we're going to let them cook till they get soft. Then we're going to take the steak out and make the gravy. So you want to be careful and not turn your, wait a minute, let me flip these. I think I'm going to flip these right quick and then add the rest of that. Let me scoot this one over there. Get off of there. What was I about? Oh, you want to make sure, look how pretty those are. You want to make sure that you don't cook it too high, because when you're going to make gravy with the drippings, you don't want burnt stuff in your gravy. So you don't want your seasonings that are burnt in the gravy, and you don't want your pieces of hamburger that's been left on the bottom in the gravy that's burnt, okay? And if for some reason you burn it, don't use the same skillet, okay? Just don't use the same skillet. Use a different skillet. Because, I mean, if you get your drippings too black around the edges, even if your burgers are fine, your hamburger steak, those drippings are going to make your gravy taste bad, and you don't want that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to turn it up just a hair to get these going. And we're going to put the lid on it, I guess. Y'all, we're just sitting here waiting. It's just the way it is sometimes when you cook live. Everything's, you just got to wait a minute. So we're going to let those get done, because I want my hamburgers done on the inside. And I wanted y'all to see my delicious recipe. All right, over here, we've got some potatoes that we had left over. And they're hot. And these are just red potatoes with sour cream and butter in them, salt and pepper. And so we're having potatoes and the Brussels and then the hamburger steaks. So it's going to be really good. I really think those steaks are about done, don't you, Chris?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to take them out. All right, at this point, I'm taking out the steaks. And then we're going to finish our gravy up.
That way they can rest a little bit too.
Yeah. Now, I don't want the steaks to, I want them to be done, but like this one, I don't think is done, but we can eat it tomorrow. All right. Look at that. That's rich looking already. We could have got by without that gravy mix probably, and made a really nice dark gravy anyway. With that, those drippings look delish, don't they?
Yep.
Yeah, we really could have made a dark gravy anyway without but it don't matter. Sometimes you just never know. I didn't use all my onion either.
Oh, that's plenty.
I know, I didn't put it all in here. Me and Chris will eat it on a hot dog or something this week. I'll chop it up. Well, that looks good. I think that's done. Is that good, done enough for you?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So we're going to add this. I'm going to go ahead and turn these Brussels back up for a hair. And just kind of brown them a tiny bit. And, I need to take out some of this grease. I want to pour off my excess grease. I do want to do that. So I'm just going to tilt the skillet. I've got some paper towels right here, Chris.
Oh, you got some? Okay. I was gonna grab
And I'm just going to press them good. And we're just going to soak it up. We don't want all that in our gravy. Good to have some, but we don't want it all. Yeah, I just happen to have some paper towels laying over here. Just
Ready.
wait. Ready and wait to be of use. Good use. Boy, it smells good, y'all. And that will get hot pretty quick and thick pretty quick. And these are doing the same thing, I think. Let me flip one or two of them over. Oh, yeah, they're perfect. Perfect.
Good.
Okay, so we're going to stir this up. And remember, we didn't put a whole lot of spices on our beef, but look how rich this gravy is going to be. It is going to be salty, and it's going to be flavorful. So it's going to be good. It'll be done in just a minute. So I'm going to put, I think I'm going to plate this one first. And what you're doing is you're just waiting on that cornstarch in that gravy to start to cook, and it's going to start thickening it up. And it will turn it a little darker once that cornstarch starts cooking. If you'll notice around the edges, see how it's darker already? So when you're making gravy and you're using cornstarch, no matter if you're making chicken and dumplings or soup or whatever you're making, if you add cornstarch to thicken something, you're supposed to cook it. You're not supposed to just eat it raw. So you can see as the cornstarch cooks, it turns clearer. And that's why it looks darker as it cooks. So you want to make sure and cook your gravy and not just, warm it up. So you want it to look nice and dark.
Mm-hmm.
And it does. All right, there it is. That's delicious looking. All right, you ready? I'm gonna make us a plate. And I don't even have a biscuit to put this gravy on, and that's fine because we don't need one tonight. But if you wanted to make biscuits, you could. To sop up that gravy with, or cornbread, whatever it is you like. And now the recipe for these Brussels, I'm going to tell you, you cannot find a better tasting Brussels sprout than when you make them like this. I'm not kidding. I haven't had them in any restaurant, any gourmet, anything, nothing as good as just making them just like this with salt and pepper. And you can sprinkle them with a little parm if you want to. But I'm telling you, with that butter on there and getting them just a little toasty like that, oh, they're so good, y'all. You can't beat it. That's a good looking plate, ain't it? Now, I think I'll take a picture of that one. That one's so pretty. So I'm going to make me a little plate right here, and then we're going to taste it and be done. I think this is the smallest one. So I'm going to use it for mine. Do we have many on tonight, Chris?
About 350.
Well, that's awesome. I'm so glad y'all tuned in to see us cook tonight live. Boy, that's a plate of food, ain't it? Good looking plate of food. Let me get me a fork. I got me some sweet tea that I made this week. Let's get a bite, y'all. And if you were here, you could have a bite too. Oh, it's hot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get burnt.
You could get a bite like Marcy down there. She's waiting on her bite. It's gonna be a little while, Marcy. It's too hot for you.
That's a good steak. It's a good supper. I'm eating so. Yeah, y'all remember, if you want your hamburger, if you don't buy a chuck and you want your hamburger to be good and done, you got to put a lid on it and cook it. But make sure you turn it down so you don't burn the drippings, okay? That's the biggest thing I could tell you. You can put your hamburgers back in the gravy and leave it on low for a little while if you want to do it that way, but make sure you put a lid on it. And that's it. If you're buying a cheaper ground beef, you do need to make sure it's done. We'll see you next time. And thank you for watching us live on Collard Valley Cooks. Cooking light. Our mama's dead. Bye, y'all. Love ya.